Protests have erupted in the last 24 hours in Cairo, Egypt, and Benghazi, Libya, over an anti-Islamic video that is very disparaging for Muslims and in particular the Prophet Muhammad, that supposedly has been produced in the United States and translated in Arabic. The protesters in Egypt have scaled the walls of the embassy, raised an Islamic flag, and led and called for protests in other parts of the country. In Libya, you've actually seen a takeover of the consulate and the death of the American ambassador there. Three things to know about this is that first, this is not analogous to the takeover of the embassy in Iran in 1979. Some are making that comparison, but in fact it is really quite different. In neither case have the governments aided and abetted the protesters in their actions. We can be critical of the Egyptian government for not doing more quickly to disperse the protesters, but they did eventually do that. They have come out against any type of violence. In Libya, you've seen strong denunciations from the government for what happened, and calls for the perpetrators to be captured. The second thing to keep in mind is that what is going on in Egypt and Libya is in fact quite different. This is not the same thing. In Egypt, you had relatively peaceful protesters out expressing dismay and anger at this video from the United States, calling slogans, waving flags, and things like that. In Libya, what you've seen is, in fact, a very violent salvo, in what could be the first salvo in almost a civil war in that country. You have a highly armed jihadi group that launched enormous firepower against Libyan forces, against American security at the consulate. That resulted in several fatalities, but it underscores the problem of maintaining control in a country that is awash in arms. The third thing to keep in mind is that this issue is not going to go away. In Egypt, it's complicated by the fact that the video out of the United States is involving several Coptic Christians from Egypt, and it's going to continue to inflame tensions there between Muslims and Christians, an already tense situation. And you are already seeing leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood calling for the United States to crack down on these types of insolent videos about Islam. And of course, we have freedom of speech and freedom of thought and freedom of expression in this country, that we have no way to do that nor inclination to do that. So there is a gulf of understanding there. In Libya, you're really seeing a breakdown of security in a very, very significant way. The group that committed this atrocity on the consulate had sophisticated weapons, mortars, RPGs, and it really underscores the government's lack of control over some significant parts of the population. And so this, of course, is an issue that is going to require a lot of increased security and attention from Libya's international partners if it hopes to prevent the country dissolving into armed conflict.